May 23rd, Saturday 2026, Saturday, May 23rd, 2026, and I'm going to do a video here. I want to do a video that helps men with their relationships, and if I help men, I can help women, you know. But if women want to tune in and get some help too, you know, I mean, hopefully this will help both, you know. Because I've done a lot of dating, and because I'm 50 years old and have a lot of experience and, you know, career experience, you know, dealing with the public, and my public service job as used to police officer for 22 years. I'm now retired, so I got a little extra time, you know. I want to try to, you know, impart some wisdom to, you know, maybe some younger men, and even men my age. You know, we all need a little, you know, I mean, had I not been listening 8 years ago, you know, Rich Cooper was on late at night, and, you know, I was looking for, you know, some guidance, you know, my relationship stuff, and I heard him talk about Rollo Tomasi, and that's it. That's when it all started. But anyway, but today I want to talk about the James Ryan case and the Sarah Harris case. Sarah Harris, James Ryan was charged with depraved heart murder of Sarah Harris, and you know, as I pull the criminal cases that I've been interested in, I found it taking like two, you know, kind of, you know, there was the men that were the beta male providers falling victim to, you know, the kind of the females that were kind of checked out and, you know, disrespectful, and, you know, they would either get a hitman, they would poison them, or, you know, they would, you know, shoot them in their sleep. I mean, that's just, you know, and that was, and I was saying how, you know, quit being the beta male provider, and these cases will show you why being an alpha bang, you know, can save your life. And then, you know, I had other cases, and I'm like, oh, these women are dying at the hands of beta males, right? I did one on that Chinese Asian female, Jackie, what was her name? Anyway, I forgot, Troy, but anyway, but and Billy Rickman. So anyway, he was a big time beta male. But today we got a big beta male too, and his name is James Dr. Jack, and we've done this. We've done a couple of doctors. Isn't that interesting? You know, I mean, you know, such accomplished professionals. I mean, dude, I mean, a doctor, right? I mean, people treat them like gods, and they are smart, but dude, they have, you know, terrible relationships, but you know, or terrible management. So yeah, this is Dr. James Ryan. He's an oral surgeon, and that's kind of, he's your biggest douchey beta male loser. You know, kill the beta before the beta kills you. And that's what, you know, Sarah Harris, unfortunately, you know, she should have, you know, washed out, you know, but anyway, so, you know, Sarah Harris, this is in Maryland, right? And Sarah Harris was beautiful, a blonde, you know, I tell you, go check her out, you know, I mean, she's a beautiful girl, but blonde, petite, blue-eyed, you know, white girl, you know, just your, you know, American girl type girl, you know. So anyway, and she did some pageants when she was young. I mean, she was very pretty, and you know, skinny little thing, and seemed like she had a real good personality, and so, you know, she seemed to suffer from anxiety, you know. But you know, I mean, that happens, people, you know. But you know, when you're, and here's the thing, when you don't have, you know, girls, you know, I say girls, women need leadership, you know. And I don't say that like they need a babysitter, but dude, when they get a bad leader, I mean, they just, they fall to his demise, right? And so James Ryan was a terrible leader, right? And so Sarah Harris needed wisdom teeth taken out, you know, simple procedure, you know, like I've had mine out, you know, and you go to the oral surgeon, and you go and get your wisdom teeth out. And it's funny how men and women have lived such a different experience, because, you know, you know, beautiful girls or pretty girls, you know, it's so funny how, you know, they're, I mean, I get like, they're so sexualized, whatever, like, I don't mean in a bad way, but basically I mean to say is she goes to the doctor, gets her wisdom teeth out. I mean, it's so like, you know, the doctor's hitting on her. I mean, like, she goes home and she's recovering, and he's texting her like, hey, well, he, again, what do beta males do? Number one, he shouldn't be hitting on her, you know. She was a patient, you know, hands off. I mean, and that's the thing, that's what beta males, there's plenty of women out there. You know, I mean, you got your office staff you can do, you know, or when she's done with her recovery, she's on her recovery and you're texting her home, and it's such a beta move. And how do you get her phone number? Probably through the record. That's creepy. Guys, don't do that, Girls don't like that. That's the thing with girls, right? Or I say women, I don't say girls. I might be saying girls because Sarah Harris was younger, but, girls don't want you doing that. Like, and when I was younger, I didn't get it, I was like, maybe you go backward, go back door looking to, find her information because you're too scared to ask her number. But girls are like, ooh, like, they want you to ask them their number. If you don't have the balls to ask me my number, don't be going and looking for it somewhere. Well, I guess, and sometimes, people give those guys a pass. I guess James Ryan got a pass because, I guess he had kind of you doing okay? See, that's the thing beta males will do. They'll use that, pseudo concern and, try to, and that's what he did. He kept being concerned, and then he turned it into, oh, I need a surgery tech, and Sarah Harris actually thought about becoming a nurse or a doctor, right? And she was a brilliant girl, and so he I guess, maybe he, did his homework and found out that, and he's like, I need a surgery tech. Do you know anyone that can come work for me? And she, well, you know what? And she's like, why not me? And, like, here's this girl. That's when how easy it is for girls, to get guys. That's why I say, guys, you got to be their champ. You got to be their Superman. You got to be their dad. You got to be their king. You got to be their champion. Because, dude, she just goes to get her wisdom teeth done, and she's getting hit on. Like, I've never gone and got my wisdom teeth done, or, that's how often girls get hit on, especially pretty girls, like, all the time. Not and nowadays, with the DMs and all that stuff. So, but anyway, so yeah, she goes, and he was, dude, he's douchey looking. You can tell he's a geek. He's been a geek his whole life, and he probably became a neurosurgeon to get chicks. A lot of these doctors do that. Because they're kind of douchey and geeky, and they never had luck with girls, but they know doctors can get chicks. Dude, I would. Men do stuff like that. So anyway, but so she goes ahead and becomes his surgery tech, and then they go on a date or something, and it was some loser thing, and Mom was telling the story, so we don't know, when Mom didn't like him. Well, no, I'll take that back. I think in the beginning Mom didn't like him, but anyway, I'll tell you the beta male part of it, because he starts kind of, he basically, is kind of dating her. And he starts to kind of kiss Mom's ass, and that's a beta male, manipulate the situation. He don't really, he's like, oh, I'm so glad I get to meet you, and and I think Mom moved in with him, but anyway, but bottom line is he was manipulating Mom, and Mom ended up falling in love with him. He got her, he got her Sarah, he got Sarah a gift, a diamond necklace, as an employee, he hadn't asked her on a date yet, and then Mom's like, I think he likes you, But anyway, so, but so when, so finally they did start dating, and they dated for 2 years, but he took him on a lot of trips, he was money, dude, he was oral surgeon, had a good practice going, so, that's a lucrative, job, and, not super rich, but, enough, he didn't have any kids, I don't think, she lived with him, and I think Sarah, he was not handsome. And I'll tell you one thing, because, I think Sarah wanted a place to stay. She had a free rent, right? So, she lived with James Ryan, and he would take her on trips, and, one of those things like publicly, they were living in large, she would wine and all these, exotic places, and, they look all happy, but I can't remember who said it, but bottom line is someone said they noticed a deterioration in Sarah 1 month after she moved in with the guy, and that's because beta males, if you have a guy that just has no heart, there's probably, either a narcissist, sociopath. I'm just a guy watching. I'm not a doctor, but one of those, because he didn't seem to have remorse, and he seemed to really be over concerned about his needs, and he does it at any cost. He has no remorse or guilt, right? As long as he's getting his shit taken care of. So but yeah, so, again, he's taking her on trips, has her move in with him, and then he said mom was like really creeped out by him because he apparently, I guess they lived in the same neighborhood, and he apparently knew Sarah since she was 14. He's like, yeah, Sarah used to go to whatever, Smith Park or something. I used to see her over there, and she's now a grown woman. Like, I think she was like 24 or something like that, 10 years ago. And he knew where she worked as a waitress. Oh, and yeah, she worked at this place as a waitress. I used to go there. He knew like 3 places. This guy's been, kind of, soft stalking her, that dude, that's a beta for you though, the only, again, she was a pretty girl, but god dang, there's a ton of her out there, I don't know, it's crazy. I've never, oh god, anyway, beta male move, so that creeped mom out a little bit. Yeah, that's a little weird. And, yeah, so again, he texts her, she got, and so they're dating, but what ended up happening was, I mentioned earlier, Sarah had an anxiety problem, and supposedly bipolar or some, you never know, if she ever got a real diagnosis, but she had access to medication now because Dr. James Ryan, I guess being a doctor, I don't know if he was an MD, apparently probably was, because he was getting her ketamine, and she was shooting herself up with ketamine. And she was getting hooked, I guess. And one of them was Demerol or something like that. Yeah, these these really, heavy sedatives. And then the other was the one that Michael Jackson took, propofol. That one's like, she was trying to sleep on that one, and you can, so anyway, and mom saw it, like she was 120 pounds, 130 pounds, little thing though, when she started working at James Ryan's place. And then, like a week prior to her death, she was like 84 pounds. That's way too skinny. She was in bad health. And, so James Ryan finds her unresponsive on the floor. When you're giving propofol, you're supposed to like monitor, and he was shooting her up, in her sleep apparently, and so, so anyway, it's an overdose, and that's what, so as the cops came and the paramedics came, he's a doctor, and everyone tends to give doctors credit, oh, and he's acting like she stole the medicine. Now all of a sudden, beta male is going to change his, beta males, what I always say, they're shapeshifters, oh my God, acting all concerned, and, she's been stealing this medicine. She wasn't stealing medicine. He was buying it for her, within a month, he's like, she was like telling him she was anxious, and they found a text. They ordered a break. Her sister was able to, she was smart, and she was able to be a detective and break into her, get into her, she worked on it for a week trying to think of passwords because she knew her sister pretty well. They were able to get into her Apple laptop, and that's where the whole case broke open, because at first they were just dealing with it as like, oh, I guess we have a drug addict, Sarah Harris, just, overdosed, oh well, instead of kind of holding, James Ryan, the beta male doctor, accountable, right? And they ended up seeing all these text messages, and Sarah, was constantly asking, can you bring home some ketamine? Oh, I feel really sick. Can you bring home some propofol? I need to sleep. And he's like, oh yeah, I got you, babe. I got you. As she's deteriorating, like her mom said 1 week, she could barely talk, slurring her words, and she came to the door, and she hadn't taken a shower for like a week, hadn't gotten out of bed for like a week. This is a person that's, under like, it's obvious that her health is deteriorating, right? So, but yeah, yes, so, and that's really what they got him on, because it's like, he didn't quote unquote technically murder her, right? But they call it depraved heart murder, because it's someone that is seeing deterioration in somebody, but don't give two F's. I think it's a good law. It's perfect for what he did. He didn't give two F's to help her, he's actually aiding in her deterioration, in her substance abuse, in her addiction. He's, here you go. It's like, here's another whiskey bottle for the alcoholic, and they had bottles and bottles of propofol, and syringes everywhere. I mean, that's, and this is a guy who probably wanted to, I mean, it would be in a bad way, but number one, wanted to shut her up at times, and I don't mean that, but, basically what I'm saying is he was so weak, that as a man, he didn't want to, clash with her, he wanted to kind of, like some people put their babies to sleep, like they put whiskey on their gums or something. I don't like that, but what it is. But my point is that, I mean, that can cause anxiety. Like, oh my God, my girlfriend has stress. She might leave me. That's what a beta male is going to think, So, but I mean, they weren't having really any problems or anything like that. I mean, and he did say he loved her, but that's not the way you love somebody, dude. Like, and again, it's, he's being a dentist oral surgeon, and he's hitting on her, already a beta male move. Then he's buying her things, taking her on trips. But here's the thing, they did play, and see, the show don't know, like, what beta males do, but she was talking to her ex-boyfriend. She never stopped talking to her ex-boyfriend. That's a sign that he's not alpha bang. And I tell you guys, if you guys want to be the beta male provider, that's your only way to get girls. Because it doesn't matter how you get chicks. And you can get chicks as a beta male provider, right? All you got to do is, if you have a credit card, give her stuff. And find the girl that really is into that. Find the poor girl that don't want to work and is lazy or whatever, or is in her 30s and wants a baby, dude. You can get one. However, you're going to get treatment like she's talking to her ex-boyfriend, who she really wants to be banging, right? And, she's probably with this guy all fucking depressed, and that's why she got to take ketamine, because she's with this loser, and she kind of feels it, right? But anyway, so, but yeah, and her old boyfriend, they had to break up because they were having a long-distance relationship, the boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, he was sad. They had him, and he was really sad, and it wasn't that they hated each other, it didn't work out logistically, right? But they still kept in communication, and Sarah was saying how she trusted this guy, and this was just prior to the murder, so she obviously was brainwashed, right? But what are you doing talking to your ex? And that means, she was more into her ex, because a girl who's really down for you, a girl who's 100% into you, she don't talk to nobody else. She don't talk to nobody else, right? She definitely ain't gonna talk to her ex-boyfriend, because she would know, like, dude, if my man found out, he might leave. And girls that are with the alpha bang, dude, they're that's what they're always worried about, because you alpha bang, you alpha daddy, right? So yeah, so that's what I was gonna say is, I mean, that's why you got to be the alpha bang. Again, it matters how you get the girl. These guys that are looks, money, status. Well, the guys that are money and the status, like I said, you can get girls that way, And I know Rollo's little buddy, I love Rollo Tomasi, but his little buddy is always talking about money and status. Great, you're gonna, I mean, but just like I did a video yesterday, you got a whole girl beauty pageant, was it Lindsay Shiver, whatever? I mean, she's going to the Bahamas, banging a broke 29-year-old in the Bahamas, and her husband's giving her a Cadillac Escalade, a 3-car garage mansion, owns 25% of a private plane, 3 kids, and she has no loyalty to him. She has loyalty to a 29-year-old dick in Bahamas, and you don't want to tell me that alpha bang ain't big. I mean, come on, y'all. And that's why we were watching the episode yesterday, because she was going to the Bahamas, and her husband was going to go hang out at their second house in the Bahamas. I'm digressing a little bit. And Lindsay Shiver was going to go bang with the fucking boyfriend while they're, anyway, I digress. But so yeah, anyway, Sarah Harris, poor girl, she passed away. Dr. James Ryan was charged with depraved heart murder. He was convicted. He was given a sentence of 40 years. And he did the whole crying thing, and when she died, and the guy, dude, total neglect, total neglect of the situation, what are you doing, like putting like shots in people, and it's crazy, right? But yeah, so but anyway, so yeah, so, that's it. I mean, and as they say is, you've got to be the alpha bang. These guys there's no cheating the game. It's like, I mean, let's say this. I mean, it's like, I can't, and I'm just going to, Carl Lewis was a big sprinter in my day, right? Everybody, Carl Lewis, right? I can't, start, let's say we're on the 100-yard dash. They give me a head start on, the 40-yard line or whatever. I mean, and I'm trying to make it before Carl Lewis catches me. He's still gonna pass me up because I ain't got the speed, or just something like that, And that's kind of what beta males do, is they try to cheat the game. It's like, I'm gonna give you a diamond necklace, and I'm gonna let you live with me, and I'm gonna take you on vacations, and I'll make you look all glamorous, but that a woman has to feel for you, like they say. And I did a video this morning. Women don't love, and I forgot this line. Women don't love you. They'll never love you. They love themselves. And that might trigger some beta males. If you're getting triggered right now, you're beta. Bullshit. No, they won't ever. They love themselves. However, the good part is, because I've experienced this from the best woman I ever known, and she loved the way I make her feel. She loves the way I make her feel. So in turn, she keeps coming to me because she can't get that from anybody else but me. And I'm not saying I'm Mr. Badass, but hey, I know I am, but I'm just saying, a lot of people are like, well, tell her that. Tell her that, ear to ear smile when she sees me, and wanting to smell me, and wanting to hug me, and wanting to do stuff for me. I can't help that she wants to do that. I love it, but that's what they do. But they don't do it for the beta male guys. I mean, they're like disgusted by those guys, Oh yeah, you got the girl, and whatever, But how does dude? If you ain't ever had the alpha bang treatment, go find it. Go get it, because you'll never want any other kind of treatment. I'm just saying. So we honor Sarah Harris today, and just in honoring her, she was a beautiful girl, and she got screwed over by her beta male boyfriend for 2 years, Dr. James Ryan, who was basically keeping her sedated with drugs. But we honor her. She said, she had something that she wanted to put out to everybody that she always said was a theme, and she said, always keep chasing knowledge. Always continue to chase knowledge. So I say it to everybody else, and that's important. I mean, it's good, and that's what we do here. We're chasing knowledge. We're sharing it to everybody. So everybody out there, just take a piece of advice and honor Sarah today with Sarah Harris with. Go chase that knowledge. Always be reading a book. Get you a nonfiction book or whatever. A suggestion, autobiography of Malcolm X. He was Red Pill before Red Pill was Red Pill. Trust me, I'm gonna do a little episode on him. And just a little teaser. He said that his mom's boyfriend left because he didn't want to be taking care of the stepkids. And he said he understood because they're too expensive. And he also said that he was a pimp back in the day, and he said that the married guys, their wives were basically beating them down, like browbeating them, and that's why they came to Harlem, and he helped them get girls, to go bang. So anyway, that's a little teaser. So anyway, y'all have a good day. Continue to chase that knowledge in honor of Sarah Harris, and have a good day.